all you need to hear.
Listen.
Damn these Biloxi blues. It happens every night.
It's Porky by Starbright, man. Look. Hey, man, Starbright.
Riverboat dealer that could ever be a friend of mine. No, I have not. Some of these treats me kind.
Big fan.
On my mind. So I bid farewell, putting in my goals, and I'll see you
Putting in your goals. Sing.
This highway
It's a chorus.
does not know Luke's name, and I don't care. No, Luke don't care.
Here we go.
Headed to Luke's way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare.
Oh, he got a voice of an angel.
With the white light gypsy getting out of Mississippi just to get to the bar and grill of LBL.
Yeah,
bring it in, Dudley.
I mean, low budget live with really the low budget live bar and chorus.
Dudley's got some pipes.
Freestyled it too. Luke Duncan freestyled.
I don't even know what to say about that other than
if I knew the words to it, I would have sung along a little bit. But
if you ever,
well,
you just,
no.
Can you tell who's an LBL fan?
I can. David
Can you
Dudley,
tell
ladies
who
and gentlemen.
is a LBL fan?
I can.
Singing it word for word and freestyling on the way.
Too.
What is that show on MTV where they freestyle battle each other?
Not low budget
like
live.
verses.
Yeah, verses. You know what I'm talking about?
Are we doing a freestyle battle right now?
Can you do one?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do a freestyle.
Ladies and gentlemen, low budget live. Before we get into the freestyle battle, real quick, I am in Texarkana, Texas. This is the podcast for Monday, April 26th. Recording it a couple days earlier because I got the Bassmaster Open practice and my dudes, Fat Cat Newton and Double D David Dudley, who apparently has got the pipes.
Yeah,
and I didn't know it.
No.
He brought it. So now, Dudley, back to the freestyle rap because I don't want to miss an opportunity to get this on camera or audio recorded. What you got?
I'm gonna give you a beat and you freestyle this. All right. I'm gonna give you a two hit beat and we're gonna see.
All
right, so we got
two hitter coming in.
Slow roller spinner baits, cranking deep diving plugs. Fish is my addiction, that tug is my drug. I wake up in the morning with it on my brain. If I don't go soon, I'm gonna go insane. Baby, boom goes a dynamite. Never lost a fish fight. Boat flipper, 10 pounders on a cash and ultralight. Back to back classics, 1987. When I die, I'm gonna bass fish in heaven. Hey!
Woo! Low budget live.
And viewership just went.
I mean. I think the deal with YouTube is you got to keep viewers. I learned that from Lunkers TV this week at a high school. He said viewer duration is key, and it's not going to be key this week. But I do think that anytime you get David Dudley beatboxing and the Big Cat dropping bars, I don't think that's a bad way to kick off the show.
I concede to that one right there.
Dude, that was fire, as the kids say.
Dripping fleek. My lyrics were dripping.
Yes,
fleek.
I want to point out Dudley is drinking straight Coke Zero, Coca-Cola. If you'd like to get at us on Low Budget Live, we would greatly appreciate it. But as I said, we are at Texarkana National Professional Fishing League, and I'm leaving here, driving back home, going to Pickwick, to the house to fish the Bassmaster Open. So not going to be able to record on Sunday like always. Brought my gear, and I asked my dudes to join me, and here we go. Listen, I love the Biloxi Blues intro. I hear it from a lot of folks. Fat Cat even gave me a Biloxi Blues shout-out on NPFL Live today, but I think from now on I might isolate that clip. And that might be the new intro.
Man, don't do that.
Is David Dudley, one of my bass fishing heroes who I'm glad to call a friend, beatboxing on my podcast. It doesn't get a lot better than that. There are a lot of fishing podcasts out there, guys. Y'all know it, I know it, but none of them's ever had Dudley beatbox. I just like to say that. That's a flex. That's a flex.
I don't know if I've ever done it either, but when you got Fat Cat sitting beside you, got to spice it.
You got to bring it.
That's what I'm here for.
You got to bring it to try to keep up with the energy that the Big Cat brings, because we said that earlier today, dude. It's infectious. When you roll up, we were giving you a hard time. You couldn't hear it, but I was like, I want to know, how do the anglers take it when you roll up? Do you bring good luck to some? Do you bring bad luck? Have you been asked to leave yet?
Not yet, dude. You believe it or not, that has not happened yet. Keyword being yet. No, man, actually, Yeah, man. I'll get welcomed with warm arms, and man, you brought me good luck. Yeah, blah, blah,
We
blah.
heard somebody say that yesterday. Like, dude, you brought me good luck.
I paid them.
But I know you slid them a little bit of
they're
that
cool,
coin.
man. For the most part, I think they like the interaction. They enjoy it. I enjoy interacting with them, and I roll up on them and give them their space. And I feel weird, like real talk, like doing this like on the water and messing with these guys if they're chasing their share of that 425,000. I tread lightly, you know what I mean? And I'm learning who I can mess with, who I can't mess with, and all that.
It's serious, man. It's all business on the water, but you bring a break to it, though, man. You
appreciate that.
It's awesome, man. And you, I don't know, it's infectious, and I've enjoyed getting to know you better this year. I know Dudley has too, getting to hang out. We knew each other before that. Yeah, so much fun, dude. Getting to do what we're getting to do.
But building something new together, like, I definitely. Not to get all corny or whatnot, but it feels good, man.
It's fun. It's good stuff. And I tried, so it's cool to have y'all on this podcast because leaving Eufaula, we all kind of had that feeling. It was like, man, this was a special week. This was fun. And then I came home, did the podcast by myself, and I had Hunter Bogman on that afternoon. Awesome, but trying to explain to people, they're like, Luke, yeah, you're selling us on it, whatever. But it's cool hearing you say that. Like, we are in this new deal together, and a lot of people never thought NPFL would have their first tournament, me included. When they made the announcement 2 years ago, I'm like, yeah, okay.
I was kind of skeptical of the second tournament. I mean, we did great. We killed the first one, but like, dude, it's new and it's big. It's not some popcorn Mickey Mouse deal. Like,
not at all.
Especially this, like when you rolled into Texarkana, the city of Texarkana, did you expect to pull up to a venue like this and see this? Because it caught me off guard. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It looked like a major concert. Like a big. It's special. There's no doubt about it. It's a special setup.
For a regular event, right? A regular season bass fishing event, have this drive-through weigh-in here at the convention center. It's crazy.
Dude, and once again, you're opening it up, peeling it back. I was skeptical of that at first because I thought it was going to take forever. But it actually seems complete opposite, and it's...
The thing about this,
I like it.
Special drive-in weigh-ins up until now with National Professional Fishing League, the only time you had a drive-in weigh-in was something very special.
The classic or final days at the elites.
Like that was okay, you guys are so special, you can drive your truck and boat. The whole field.
Give the sponsor expo. Yeah,
right.
Everybody.
The whole field is driving their truck and boats up. And it's just, it's just a different choice that, it's just a different choice that they've elected to use. And not to say any of them are wrong in what they do. It's not. But
it's a difference maker. It's a difference maker for the anglers, dude.
Right. I mean, it's not a right.
It's also it's a chance for those anglers to get more exposure for their sponsors, and it's also another platform to where new sponsors see it and they want to participate because they're seen every time.
We had a sponsor. We went to dinner with a sponsor last night.
Vienna sausages.
Yeah, Vienna sausages, and we appreciate hashtag
Big Ken, Fully Loaded.
Big Ken from Fully Loaded, and that was one of the things he just kept talking about was that drive-through. He's like, man, it's so cool. You can see the trucks and boats. And I'm like, that's a difference maker, So like you said, thought it would take forever. Really smooth tournament. Dudley, 27 years in the business, though. How smooth is this tournament running? Like I said that at UFall, like pretty small on the manpower. They don't have a huge staff like you see a lot of tournaments you and I have been in. I mean, they're pulling it off.
Smooth as silk.
Like it really is.
Right. Now, I've seen the evolution of,
check this camera real quick.
Just walking your own bag up to the weigh-in line, at a high, say a championship to next thing you know, you're driving through the or whatever it may be. But anything that you start out new, I will say this. Here's how I can put it. Anything that you start out new...
You sound much better when you're that close to.
You're going to expect hiccups, right? You should expect growing pains. You should expect something to go wrong. It's just you take that for granted. But from Eufaula to here with the weigh-in, the drive, I haven't seen a hiccup.
No.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't seen a hiccup, and that just comes from preparation and a hard work.
Organization, too. Holy cow. Brad and the crew.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can have your ducks in a row and avoid those hiccups if you do everything right. And I haven't seen a hiccup in, everything they've done so far. So it's Yeah.
It's been awesome, man.
And the communication has been good, to keeping everybody in the loop and staying on the same page. Like no major surprises, things of that nature. And preparation is key, right? Especially for an event this big and this important. It's been on point so far.
Well, you know what else is on point? The sponsors of Low Budget Live.
That's right.
Thank you. Right there, StarTron kicking ethanol in the teeth and bringing you Low Budget Live for going on 4 years now. We really appreciate the folks at StarTron. Put it in your weed eater. Put it in your three-wheeler.
Oh, yeah.
Big Cat, I sent him some. He uses it in Big Red to keep her.
Purrs like a kitten.
Yeah, chainsaw, weed eater. But nothing ruins a good day on the water like an outboard engine that won't run. So drop some ethanol in your tank.
Also,
don't drop ethanol in your tank. Drop StarTron in your tank. Tongue tied. I've only talked for like 12 hours.
I was about to add on to that. My wood splitter. So my wood splitter, every year when I fire it back up, issues. Use this, no issues this year.
No kidding. Because you leave it with fuel in it.
Yeah, exactly.
It gums up the works. Yeah,
exactly.
Drop some ethanol in there. Some ethanol. Again. Kick ethanol in the teeth with StarTron. Goodness gracious. I haven't had enough. I haven't had anything to drink, I swear. Haven't had anything to drink. And haven't had enough water today, apparently, because I'm not firing on all cylinders. I'm not hydrated enough, apparently. But you can kick ethanol in the teeth by using StarTron. Sorry, Greg, if you're listening out there. Sims Fishing Products making quality rain gear, which we had to wear at the weigh-in, the drive-through weigh-in today. Got a little dicey out there. Luckily, I had my Pro Dry with me. Threw it on, hung out there, me and the Big Cat eating barbecue sandwiches. Just killing it out there watching the drive-through weigh-in. But I'm here to remind all you low-lifers, you get one life. Fish it well. Pro Guide batteries. Been using Pro Guide this year. Dudley, I know you know all about battery issues throughout your career. You've had crazy things happen. I have too. This year, I switched to Pro Guide. I've had 0 issues, and I've even forgot to charge my batteries a few times, which people make fun of me for saying on here. They're like, oh, it's every pro that's trying to sell batteries. But I swear, it's legitimately happened to me a couple times this year. Super impressed with the Pro Guide batteries. You can use code LBL10 to get 10% off there. Some of you guys are using that because you're sending me messages on the IG about that. You're commenting. I appreciate it. It definitely does not go unnoticed. And last but not least, the official boat of Low Budget Live, the Express X21, Express building excitement since 1966. And Mr. Clay Connor himself from Express rolled up today and got to see NPFL live behind the scenes.
Nice.
I'd like to point out we've had a couple Expresses. We had an Express on camera. What model did you say John Paulsini's?
It's an 07.
It's an 07.
It's an 07.
17-footer. Brought it here from Mississippi.
She bad though, boy.
Oh yeah, such a slick boat. But he made the he's in contention for the top 10 going into tomorrow. He caught another good bag today on day 2. But not only John Soka, we had 2 at the first event as well. But John still hanging around. John caught him again today. Keith Carson, our leader, though, in an aluminum boat, keeping that aluminum train running. We're going to have to get Keith.
Aluminum's where it's at these days, man.
It is, man. It's been the year of aluminum in pro fishing, to say the least. But I want to thank the fine folks from Express for supporting Low Budget Live and the Traveling Circus. And that X21 is one bad machine. Can't wait to put that sucker to the test on Pickwick Lake next week once again.
You probably got the baddest deck in the game.
I love it.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
I get more, dude, like legit. You can't, gas stations, boat ramps, people are like, dude, it's clean.
And it's
sea deck.
Once you go sea deck, you don't go back to carpet.
No.
We had a guy today, brand new, nice boat, carpet. So when the camera guy's getting in the boat, mud all up in the, you know what I mean? It's brand new and just mud just in that. So
Dudley, does that bother you?
I don't like the mud.
Okay.
I really don't. After every tournament, I go home and I take my pressure washer and I pressure wash.
Really?
Every single tournament, because I can't stand putting my lures down. I might lay a mag draft down, pick it back up, and it's
dirty,
dirt grime on it.
And mag drafts are hard to come by.
Yeah, I'm not paying $25. Yeah, $25 for it to look like I rolled it in the dirt. So no,
that's a good point. Something a lot of people say. That's a pro tip right there. Yeah. Clean your carpet, not dirty up your lures. That's a good point. When I get there,
especially around where I know where my lures, I hold that pressure washer there longer.
Are you like full pool pressure washing it?
A full with the white tip.
It'll raise the carpet back up too, make it look
raise
good
the carpet up off the deck if you hit it too hard, won't it?
But I'm thinking about ordering my next boat with no carpet. the
hardwood floors. You getting hardwood floors? Marble tile.
He is a bass fishing millionaire, Fat Cat. So I would think granite.
Will a tree.
But not to cut you off, I was making a joke, but you are thinking about sea deck or something like that? Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, I'm think I'm done with the carpet. I'm done with pressure washing.
How does that? I don't know.
Well, dude, but here's the thing with that though. Pressure wash, you still got to vacuum sometimes with carpet. But dude, that's the thing with the sea deck. I roll up. I just take the hose.
That's what
I'm. Even if you get a bleeder, too, the bleeder situation's a lot easier, right?
Just completely put a little water on, scrub it up.
Probably 100% of saltwater boats don't have it in it.
Absolutely.
Anyways, and I loved it I've had a saltwater boat forever, and I love it. Why do we?
I've always said that. And people are like, it's for quiet. Man, you don't think you got to be quiet slipping up on a redfish or a snook on a flat or a bonefish? There ain't no carpet in them boats. Come on, man. And you can spray them out.
I guess you understand. I was thinking from the perspective of having that cushion, the carpet, and everything, standing up there 8 hours a day. But sea deck is now a whole lot more relevant and seems to absorb shock better. So now
it does. But my thing is on that, like saltwater guys. Right. Put their bodies to the test way more than freshwater guys.
They get their
standing up.
You're right. Yeah. I'm talking.
You're standing on that all day long. I'm like, I've just never understood it. But here's the main reason, and this is a little, in my opinion, some insider boat builder lingo from being in and out of boat plants. It's to hide ugly. That's the bottom line, because a lot of tools in the fiberglass, when they pull those molds out, you do have a lot of ugly. So carpet hides it. Think about fiberglass stress cracks. What happens if you see one on the outside? And fiberglass stress cracks all the time. You have stress cracks in your boat right now. Everybody has
cracks all around my stomach.
I have several stress cracks in my life, but most boats have them. But carpet hides the majority of them, right? So especially in the gaps, little things like that in the tools. So carpet hides it. So for these fiberglass bass boating manufacturers to be able to use sea deck, they're going to have to come in and really reinforce things differently, change up the tooling, clean the tooling up. That way it's ready for all that to be seen all the time. It's just never happened before. And this is coming from like engineers at boat companies. I've said, man, why don't you guys do that? But Express jumped out there a couple years ago on that X21, X19, started doing it. Their pros jumped on it. They sell that package, dude. They sell a lot of sea deck, man. It's really cool. Really cool to see. In the pontoon world, they've been in it for a long time, sea deck. But it's definitely one of the best advantages of that boat. It looks good over, John Sokup's got his Express is a few years old. Looks deck. He fishes a lot.
I don't think too many guys fish more than that dude.
No, John is all over it. So 3 major events this week in pro fishing.
Oh, yeah.
This is the week when everybody was like, man, NPFL, nobody needs another tournament trail. It's going to muddy everything else. Too many damn tournaments. And then all of a sudden we had all 3 of them at the same time. And it's like, hey, maybe it's too much. Yep. It's a lot this week. But live coverage on top of each other. We've been fighting with the Bass boys at Fork who've been catching them. Our guys here have been catching them. Not quite the giants here, right, Patman, but the quality is incredible, right? Man. The average, we talked about that on live today. So that 3 to 4, 5 pound average class fish that's in this lake, and what people at home might not understand about right, Pat, fairly small. And you've been on the water. These dudes are fishing on top of each other, kicking these stringers out. If it was a smaller field, like the weights would be that much higher because they wouldn't be regurgitating so much of this, so many of these 3, 4,
You got
5
guys
pounds.
out there that are literally taking turns going around certain islands and certain things. Like they're literally taking turns or follow each other around. Or you start here, you start there, and they go around and meet. It's crazy.
It's
and they're still catching fish behind each other. Just these islands and these points are right there where these fish are going in and out, spawn and coming out and spawn. I think, and they're. It's wild.
Have you seen anybody get heated? We saw one on live today, but have you seen anybody personally?
No. Everybody's been respectful to each other. Everybody's been, if they have been getting close, they've been to talk to each other or just like the guys are good to each other out there. You know how the networking goes and all that. We saw some stuff yesterday from Carson. Carson was fishing. He was cracking. So he comes around one part of the island, and Hoheiser comes around the other part of the island, which, speaking of that, Hoheiser's been on the island. He hasn't left it. Just keeps doing like a merry-go-round, right? But Landon Tucker, he's hung up on a trot line like everybody else has been getting done. Right, Pat? I've never seen it like it's. 2 or 3 times a day, somebody's hung up on a trot line.
That's crazy.
Yeah, true story. So, but anyways, Carson, you got it, man. Well, yeah, I got a spot over there. I got to go over here, though. You can have that spot talking to Tucker. You know what? It's
Yeah, they room together, so they're working together.
right on.
Yeah, it's cool. These guys, the camaraderie is really cool out here, to say the least. But MLF Big Five, former FLW2 RIP Forest Wood Cup. I got to say that. Always got to say that. Forest Wood Cup. Dudley, former Forest Wood Cup champion, right here with us. But they're at Lake Murray. They're blasting them too. So I wrote this in my notes. You and I talked a little bit about this before we hit record before the Big Cat got here. Looking at the weights, like FLW yesterday, day one, Big Five, like 16 pounds was down like 30th place. That's a good freaking bag of fish anywhere you go, right? Which Murray's got them. Don't get me wrong. That's great. Lake Fork yesterday, 21 pounds is in 30th, 40th place. Special Lake. Here yesterday, though, we saw 15 pounds down to 50th freaking place, dude.
That's crazy.
17, 18-pound log jams. My question to you, Mr. 27 years in this, is professional bass fishing right now at its most competitive state it's ever been in weight-wise?
Yeah. Think about the evolution of baits. Think about the evolution of technology. We're watching, not here in particular where we're at right now, it's just kind of standard.
Old school. We're saying an old school fishing tournament.
But you don't have many of those tournaments nowadays.
You're right.
So think about what Patrick Walters is doing over at Bass this week. Looking. There's an 814 right there. 814. He ain't catching the 814
without it. Without the live scope.
Yeah. Right. So, yes, 100%. We can agree that lures have gotten better. Technology's gotten better.
Hooks have gotten better.
Absolutely. Hooks have gotten better. So, yes, like we talked about earlier. Yeah, let's say we're just throwing numbers. In 2012, you know, the average weight, we're just going to use easy numbers, was 10 pounds, right, to get a check in most of these fisheries. Now we're here in 2021, 10 or 11 years later, that same 10-pound bar.
Yes, the bar. The bar,
at the same time of year, same lake, now that bar is 15.
15 pounds.
15.
Yeah.
And it's only, I'm going to say only, but I think what's also happened, though, too, is that back in old school days or whatever, there was a handful. Let's just say there was 150 old school fishermen through bass. And I say old school, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Let's just say there was 150 anglers. 50 of those 100 got it.
They were dialed.
Got it. They knew it. They knew what they were doing. The other ones were okay, right? And I know that sounds bad, but now,
but it's true.
It's true.
And it's true in any tournament,
right? But now, the through social, the excitement about fishing has been raised to here. So instead of 50 people knowing, 50 people like them 50, yeah, they got it. Now there's, out of the 100, 300, whatever, the bar has been raised with, you know, there's that many more people that get it. So then that's going to raise the bar too. So I think it's twofold: lures, technology, and the drive for to become a professional fisherman. I mean, think about Angela says this all the time. My wife, she goes, think about what you did when I first met you. She goes, you were fishing for like a $1,500 check and calling yourself a professional bass fisherman. Who in their right mind? And, you know, we were like, dude, that's all. 27 years ago, my first tournament I won was a Bassmaster BP Top 100. BP, which is what they call the Elite 100.
Right. It's what became the Elite.
Same thing. It's the same thing. It was the top 100 in the world. And when I was 19 years old, I won it. I won $40,000. Now, yes, I know $40,000 back then, that's a ton of money. But what she's saying is you had to have an overwhelming desire. And she goes, David, you never gave up. You didn't quit. You just focused on, this is what I'm going to do. I know I'm called to do this. But now when you start throwing like FLW years ago saying 1 million to the, now we know
It's gone down. Yeah, the payouts have gone down for sure.
We've all seen the evolution of this, the rise. We've seen the roller
What is that attributed to? Like, why?
Whoa, that's a deep question. So we've seen
We've
the
got
rise.
time, David. Let's go. Low budget live. The low lifers
Do
want
you
to know.
think social media played a role in that? Like, far
In
as
the
the
decline?
growth? Yeah,
Or the growth?
because those companies that used to fund that $1 million now put it towards more marketing and social media and things.
Influencer-based marketing?
I'm just asking.
I think that's been in the last 5 years.
Okay.
But I think about this, though. In whatever it was, 2009 and 10, that was the great. We didn't live in the Great Depression, but for what we
Great
the bottom
recession.
fell out, though, yeah.
2009 and 10, I was borrowing money to make it to Florida to get and sold all my rod and reels. Had to stop in Alabama to get enough cash to go there. My friends and family were bringing us food to eat. Okay,
What had you already accomplished though? Because you've told me this story, and it's like you'd done
won
well.
everything.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Did you win
And
the
then-
cup?
2003.
I don't think
I was
people
gonna say.
know that, man. Like, and
You won the Millennium Tournament in what, 2000? Or was it
I think
99?
02. 02 and 03 were the two big money
Big years.
Yeah, big years. So then,
So 09, 010, listen to me. 09, 2010, you're having to borrow money to get by.
and
at
it
that
wasn't
point.
that I was bad with my money. Of course, everybody tells
You didn't Mike Tyson it? You didn't buy a
No,
Tiger or anything
it
like
was
that?
Go buy, at the time, go buy property. Property never goes down in value. Never goes down in value. So after those few years, I built 4 houses, bought some commercial land. I didn't even spend a dime hardly on myself. Then all of a sudden, 2009 and 10, and at the time we were getting school lunches brought to us, and for a lady, and they wasn't supposed to do it, but and then I never ever will forget this. Sitting at the table like this, family table, we had school lunches that they get, and they go, "Mom, Dad," they go, "This is the same thing we had at lunch for school today," and I had to take it as a dad, and go, "Yeah, isn't that something? That's weird." They didn't know that we were that broke to where we were taking in food from leftover school lunches. So, yes, I have seen it. So what was the decline? We went from $1 million, to paying out $1 million for championships. And, of course, the vision of FLW brought the bar up. So Bassmaster, oh, wow, they're paying $1 million. They had to bring it up. Then we hit a bar, 2008 and 9, here we go.
That's right.
Then it trickled on down to $500,000, whatever. And then I think we're at
It's 300,000 at the
300.
Classic now, which was funny for me when the Cup changed to 300,000. The Classic was like, yeah, man, we're at 300,000 too. It's like, well, that's what their championship is, so that's what ours is going to be, kind of thing. And the money, you're right, like it just went out of it. It went out of it for sure. You had Ranger boats at one point in time, like when Suggs won the $1 million. It was $500,000 from FLW, $500,000 Ranger Cup. Like he won $1 million in the Cup, and $500,000 of it was the Ranger Cup bonus. Like you think about that, and that was before of course Bass Pro bought them and all that years ago. This is when it was still Forrest and all that crew. But $500,000 for running a Ranger boat and all that stuff, like you said,
right,
done,
and
gone.
I can't sit here and who am I? I'm not sitting in on their meetings. I'm not their accountant. I'm not why is the decline? I would be guessing at the wind, right?
Yeah.
I can try to throw out a logical, the cost of screws went up. And I have no idea.
Yeah.
All I know is that I've watched the evolution of 27 years. I've seen the spikes.
Yeah.
I've seen the lows. But what is attributed to it is when you throw $1 million purse out versus, hey, back 27 years ago, if you win or you get a check, you get $1,500. Oh, that's right. Our whatever the entry fee was at the time was just basically getting your entry fee back, which is kind of like what it is now. But anyways, you get to the point. Those young anglers are like $1 million. Dang, sign me up. So it inspired through social media. It's inspired all these young anglers.
The boom we're seeing now.
Yeah, I mean you can look at numbers, right? And numbers don't lie, and it's just only stating facts. But, I'm somewhere in the ballpark of 4.5 million is what I've won. You know, that you say that number to somebody, but in reality, you know, they're like, oh my gosh, Dudley's a millionaire. I reckon you could say that, you know, but it's like this sport.
$1 million passed through your bank account at one time.
This could,
you know,
really,
technically.
You know, this sport is, they don't know that, like, the entry fees that you're paying. Like,
pay to play.
Yeah, like on the Bass Pro Tour, I pay $5,700 per tournament to play. $5,700 per tournament to play.
At the highest level in professional bass fishing.
$5,700 to play. Tack on $2,000 of expenses for the week.
Is that what you average, you think?
Yeah, average.
Pretty
So
much.
if I had to go from Virginia to Texas and then get in a hotel, gas, food, lodging, all the way back, $2,000 plus tackle. Even though we have all the tackle, you always end up buying about $200 of tackle.
Absolutely. Doesn't matter who you sponsor by, what you got.
Oh, dude, Fisherman Central, bro. At the new Fisherman Central we were at up there, Catawba on Erie.
Oh, I burnt.
So, bro.
Yeah.
So
you watched Dudley in action?
We went up there. Yeah, they had a hog trough up there for the grand opening about a month ago. So we went up there. Not to do a shameless plug on them. Huge store. If you're ever around Erie, hit Fisherman Central.
They're sponsoring NPFL.
It's sponsoring NPFL. Over 30,000 square foot of almost all bass tackle. Just never seen that much stuff in one place. Anyways, this dude, when we're about done, gets a basket you walk around with. End up having 2 of them, and I'm not gonna say what was in them, but my man made it rain in Fisherman Central, son.
Yeah, and I look at tackle like this.
I mean, made it rain. I can't even. You guys don't know.
But you think about it. So we're paying a $5,007 on our side. I don't know what Bass pays. What is
it's like
that?
$5,000.
Oh, they're 5,000. We're 5,007.
I'll Google that real quick.
It doesn't. You know. So I know what we pay on our tour. So it's $5,700 per tournament to play plus $2,000. That's $7,700. If you get a check, which is I want to say, what I don't even. I'm scared to even say what we get paid, but you can imagine if you get a check, then you can probably figure out how much a professional fisherman is bonusing per tournament when you get a check. I can't even know the numbers, but
I want to ask you a question on a sidebar. Like you say, you've been doing this thing since '87, longer than that, 27 years, whatever. In your opinion, David Dudley, because we all know you don't have a very strong opinion. You're not opinionated.
No, he's never going to tell you his opinion.
Best angler ever. All-time best angler. Professional angler.
I hate putting ever because it puts a period to it.
All right.
Then that's the end.
Well,
you hear the GOAT, greatest of all times, period. We all look at
who's inspired you? Who have you looked up to? Like
Rick Klein. Okay. No hesitation.
There we go.
My man's.
That's my answer.
Yeah, Rick Klein. There's nobody that I've ever won, and I will tell this quick story on this. Nobody on this in the fishing world that I'm like, I want to fish with. And Rick, I hope you listen to this and realize how sorry I am.
Big lowlifer.
Big. So
huge.
So he's invited me so many times. I get done with the tournament, and I'm like, Rick, dude, I said, you could be home. He goes, yeah, come up Wednesday, and we'll fish Thursday. I'm like, dude, called him and look, I'm going to go fish with Rick Klein. The only one I would get starstruck over in the whole world. That's because crazy. I just appreciate his way of thinking, his deep thoughts. I get in town a day early, and I'm like, man, I just, whatever. I knew I couldn't sleep, so I put my earplugs in. I said, I'm going to rest up, and with me and Rick Klein, we're going to go fishing. I'm going to be primed and ready. I wake up the next morning, grab my phone, put my phone on silent. I look in there, there's like 5 missed calls from Rick Clun and like 10 texts. Oh, my God, what have I done? I opened it up, and he's like, David, where are you? I'm sitting here. It's 10 minutes late. David, where are you? And I'm like, what the hell? I pick up the phone, and I'm like, Rick. He's like, David, we were supposed to fish Tuesday, not Wednesday. Well, can you stay? Nope, David, I have to go. That was the only day I could fish. I was so mad. I was so mad. And I was like, it ain't like the only chance. Of course, me and Rick love each other, but it's like, he's the only one I want to fish with, and I screwed it up.
Dang it, man. Double D dropping. You don't drop a lot of balls, buddy.
No,
Except on magazine covers, but that's a story for another day. Got it in there. Got it in there. I can't say that on live, but I got it in there. Did I make you? Did that get you sweaty?
Yeah.
Do you know that story, fat guy?
No, I was talking. I shouldn't have been talking. What'd you say?
I said he doesn't drop a lot of balls except on magazine covers.
Oh,
he had a wardrobe malfunction one time in a photo shoot for him.
So, Brad, oh gosh, I'm sweating.
Low budget live.
Low budget live is
yeah, let's go.
Oh, bring it on. Let's hear this story.
It's one of my favorite David Dudley stories ever. One of my fishing heroes.
Playboy days of David Dudley and through FLW at the time. So, and it was an honest mistake. So I was all right. So I do not wear underwear. Right? I have not worn underwear since the 8th grade. If you put a gun to my head and said, David, go get me a pair of underwears, or I'm pulling the trigger, I'd say pull the trigger because I do not own a pair of underwear.
Steady out here, just rocking it.
My third.
Now I have to sit next to this man on live, y'all.
My third angler of the year, they had me go back and sit on a captain's chair seat. And he goes, look, Dudley, I want you to put the trophy in one leg, and I want you to hold up 3 fingers. So I got up there, and you can imagine, I kind of faced the camera. I had my legs, and my shorts were like sagging a little bit. It
wasn't the only thing sagging.
It had a tongue going up through there. You know where I'm going with this. Brad Knight calls me up and goes, Dudley. He goes, have you seen the magazine or the? It
was on the website, right?
Oh, no, it made the website.
Yes!
And on the magazine. They go, Dudley, have you seen the magazine? I mean, the website yet? What are you talking about? You better go check this out right away. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? He goes, I'm just saying you better go check this out. So, anyways, I went to the website, checked it out. Sure enough, he was laying southeast, and I mean plain as day.
He was laying southeast,
and I can't understand why the editor would not have.
They just sent it full send.
He was just like, "There's a picture of Dudley. Take this one." And so, yes, and the memes that I have got.
Really? Oh, is it still floating around? I'm gonna find. Well, never mind.
I'm sure you will find it.
Brad, you could probably make about 2 texts of Brad Knight. He'll get it to you. I heard it from Brad Knight, but my favorite person that ever told me the story, or was in a group where the story was told and was called upon to reminisce on it, was Kathy Fennell.
Oh God!
And you know, Kat just so proud. She was just like. Face red, like, oh yeah, that was something. That was true. Because I was like, is it true that this happened with Dudley? She's like, oh,
like the old NASCAR picture. Was it Tim Richmond? Do y'all ever see that from the 80s? Yeah,
with his junk out.
There's like 12 or 15 NASCAR drivers, and they all have their suits on with all their sponsors. And like 15 of them, they're double stacked. With Tim Richmond's in the back row, and he's like right over like Bobby Allison's shoulder, and he's got his zipper down. And you got little Bobby just flopped out right over Bobby's shoulder.
In a picture.
And it was the NASCAR Winston Cup, went everywhere back in the 80s, yeah. Tim Richmond, look it up.
No,
maybe not. It's family friendly.
Yeah, it's a family show. Yeah. Dudley said something today on live. I said, it's a family show. Yeah. It's a family show. I'm sorry to put you on the spot like that. That was just one of those things. You know me.
I never knew that, dude. That was a crazy story.
That was impromptu. That just popped in my head when I said, you don't drop any balls. And I was like, well.
Yeah.
Why not?
So David Dudley had, a
Mike Honcho.
Playboy.
I'm going to call him
over here.
Mike Honcho on live. Dave Honcho on live.
It's a good thing it was hot that day, is all I can say. It was taken in the summertime. It's a good thing in the old Seinfeld episode.
Good.
Kramer.
Yeah, George Costanza.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that those AOY titles are decided in the summer and not in the spring. David Dudley, everybody. Dudley, I don't even know how to get back to where we were going. We were headed to a place that I wanted to get to, and then
place. Oh, I thought you were singing.
I don't care.
I thought you were singing Biloxi.
No, you were talking about entry fees, and it's something I brought up on here a lot that I feel like I feel like we do a disservice to young anglers sometimes in the glitz and the glamour of the sport, right? Like you're saying, $4 million, a few years later, you're borrowing money, you're eating lunches from schools, you're trying to get by to get back to glory. And now BPT starts out no entry fee, and it's like the top level sport. And I just feel like our sport is a lot smaller than I think that we portray it to a lot of young kids, is what I'm getting at. And even BPT, with the minds they've got, the marketing ideas and different things, they couldn't do it. They couldn't do no entry fees, which is the ultimate dream. Those guys that started that was the ultimate dream for a lot of pros. We shouldn't be paying entry fees. And I agree, we shouldn't be paying entry fees. Top level sports, you should not have to pay $5,000 to be a professional angler. It's crazy. NPFL, same way. We're paying $5,000 here. Our guys are doing it. Got over 100 of them out here. FLW, same way. At least here, it's on part, because when we started, a lot of people were like, "This bullcrap, $5,000." I'm like, look around, cuz. It's every tournament trail out there. It's the way the game is played. But do you think it comes down to our industry is too small to get those big, like PGA Tour type sponsorships that will make it where we can go no entry fee?
I think we're. Here's where I think nothing. The three of us aren't sitting in accounting for whatever.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. I don't know MLF's books. I don't know Bass's books. I don't know NPFL's books.
Right.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
This is purely opinionated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of what I think. I think that, you asked if the sport has, if we're too small of a sport. If anything, years ago when the glory years were here, we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have social media. We didn't have anything. And what I felt like was hurting us as an industry, all we had was a 30-minute highlight film. I call them TV shows.
Yeah, highlight film.
It was a 30-minute TV show.
And a magazine.
And a magazine, right?
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, the reason that the sport wasn't growing, it wasn't a basketball where we could watch the game, watch the whole thing.
Watch it play out.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, look at
live everywhere. Yeah, look at why we're here.
Right.
It changed everything.
But here's the thing. So now, to me, we have more people watching the sport versus back then, and inspiring more, and it would seem like it would inspire more tackle sales, inspire more
boat sales,
StarTron sales,
yeah,
whatever,
absolutely.
just whatever.
Shout out StarTron.
Yeah, and so you would think it would be on the rise, but what is keeping us at a plateau? Right? Why are we not seeing that $1 million? Are people using the 2009 and 10 recession as are companies
using COVID as an excuse?
Found out that we fine with that.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
1,000,000%. The
it?
money's there.
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Like right now, coming out of COVID, tackle sales, we're the biggest they've ever been.
Oh my God.
Period.
Oh, dude.
More guys got cut this year in pro fishing than they ever have before.
Yeah.
Ever. So they're using it as an excuse. I work with companies that, I've seen it. They're like, and I don't mean like cutting for no reason, but cutting because they're like, hey, we can put more money in our pocket.
Oh, dude,
we don't need 30 of these dudes. We need 12 guys that do a better job. But at the same time, I feel like pro fishermen got lazy. I've said that on here a lot. You and I have had this conversation, and I think you and I have too. How many guys do you see now that pissed and moaned about the Guggen squad, pissed and moaned about YouTube fishermen?
Wow.
That's stupid. They don't know what they're doing. That's a flash in the pan, that are now like, swipe up, subscribe to my YouTube. You were the first one that ever made me click and think, damn, I better start paying attention to this YouTube thing. You and I had a conversation at Lake Toho in the parking lot of a meeting. You're like, Bubba, I'm telling you, and you were just getting your feet wet with it. And for you to be a veteran guy, I saw you making that change. I was like, wow, that's interesting. We had this conversation, and that's really when I kind of upped what I was doing in the YouTube world, or tried to, started paying more attention to it. But so many pros for so long look down on that. They look down on social media. They're like, oh, I get paid for speaking engagements at the Bass Pro Shops and at sports shows, which were huge for a long time. And the only way you got your information, the only way you learned how to fish a spinnerbait, is because Bill Dance stood up there and told you how. But guess what? You can Google spinnerbait video now.
That's a wrap.
And you can see 1,500 of them right now, good ones, good ones, high production stuff that will teach you the entire thing. So I think when Bass Pros got complacent, it let those companies go, see you, we don't need you. Because last year scared me, and I'll tell you why. So I do a lot of trade shows. I know you do, but I do a lot of them for TH Marine, ICAST. We have one called IBEX, big international boat builders conference is what it is. All the boat manufacturers, you name them from around the world, they come to this deal. We set up, show them parts.
Is that Miami?
It bounces around. It's in Tampa this year,
Okay.
but it's been the Miami's the international boat show. It's actually boat sales.
Gotcha.
But this is like components, and it's really kind of boring, to be honest. I've been a lot. It just is. You'll see some cool stuff. Most times it's like, oh, look at that plumbing part. That it is what it is. Not as flashy as people think. But last year was the first time. I've been with TH for 16 years. It's the first time we never had it. And I've been saying for like the last 5 years, I don't think we need to go to that show. I don't think that show affects our sales one bit. And the bosses a few times, no, man, we got to be a part of it. Got to be a part of it. Got to be a part of it. Kind of got that vibe from the last iCast that we had from a lot of people. They're like, man, I don't know if this is effective anymore because so much live streaming. What new products do you go to iCast to actually see in person now? Everybody does drops 2 weeks before now, building up to it, right? So the actual show is not that important. So for the first time in our industry, we didn't have shows. None. Boat sales went through the roof. There were no boat shows. Tackle sales went through the roof. New products got released. Tackle went through the roof, and we didn't have shows. So I think.
Oh no, we had shows, but they were virtual.
Virtual show, yeah.
Nowhere near the same.
Yeah, nowhere near it, and nowhere near the participation either. Right? Like people didn't do virtual iCast. Like they just Tackle Warehouse did a killer job with virtual iCast, but I still don't think it's. I don't know. Like there's a paradigm shift happening. That's what I'm getting at. Like it's happening.
I don't know if I should ask this question.
Oh, let her eat.
But
Slow Budget Live, buddy. If we don't say something to get canceled, it's just not
Right.
the three of us weren't in the room together.
Do you think some of this spike is the printed money the last 2 years?
The printed money.
The money.
Oh yeah, the
Just the
the
money,
stimulus stuff.
The printed money.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but dude, I just feel like. I don't know. I think a lot of people got back to basics. Like a lot of the beautiful part of COVID is I think a lot of people got back to, hey, man, hard reset family, right? Like, and the outdoors were all they could, quote, do in a lot of places. So I think that helped.
Rewind to March of last year, fast forward to this March. When I was on the water last March on the Potomac, bro, well, there normally aren't that many boats on a Tuesday, Wednesday. It was stacked up everywhere. Now, this year, they're out there, but nowhere near as much as what they were last year. And we all have friends that may not have huge companies that sell tackle, but we all know somebody in the business that sells things. Everybody's been wiped out.
Of everything.
So once they sell out, they can't get more because of stuff across the seas. But it's been a phenomenal. You have people that actually doubled, like literally doubled their sales.
And then tackle companies cutting guys. Like, oh, you didn't do enough for us. Well, we got to have a marketing budget cut.
But now, what does that do to the next year, the year after's numbers, that the influx of it? And so many things that go into the whole shortage.
To me, my concern anytime you see those big spikes is can we retain it? Because it's obvious we got some new anglers, right? And some new boat owners and things like that. You hope, was that a flash in the pan deal? Could they afford to buy a boat for a few months, right? See if they like it. Did they sell that boat later? Are they always going to be a bass boat owner now? Are they always going to be a pontoon boat? That's the kind of stuff I look at. Like, are they going to come back? Because there were definitely new boat owners last year for the first time. Testing whether they bought a used one, new one, whatever, just to get out there. Hey, man, I like this fishing deal. I saw all kind of noobs, at the boat ramp. Like that was
for sure.
But you wonder, like, do they come back once life gets back to some sort of normalcy? I don't know. I'm rambling. I always ramble. But that's something that last year bummed me out, man, because once in the fall when you started hearing of guys taking those hits, taking those cuts, you're going, this year you're going to say that the marketing budget's getting cut? Like, come on now. Like, if anything else, and marketing budgets are based on sales.
Right.
I had quite a few cuts after my fourth Angler of the Year. 2019, won Angler of the Year for the fourth time. And
no way.
Yes, I promise you.
2019, you win your fourth Angler of the Year. Let me ask you this. This is a loaded question. Holy crap.
Like the loaded question of, how do you go find fish on a new lake?
No, it's not that. This is way more loaded than that.
Oh, gosh.
Do you think?
Is this LBL Part 2?
Do you think that it was because you won AOY with FLW and not Bassmaster?
Wow.
And I mean, and listen, FLW in the veins, you know that. FLW would fight for it. But there was an industry perception for a very long time that the elites were better. And you and Andy Morgan and Brian Thrift and Scott May, any of the big names at FLW, along with a lot of people that people don't even know their names, could go over there and mop the floor with any of those cats any day of the week. The old field, the new field, whatever. We've seen that. When the split happened, who'd they replace everybody with? FLW guys. Who won? FLW guys. Like, that's what happened, right? But do you think that had something to do with it? Because I really believe there was a stigma for a long time. I do.
Well, we know this is that
Comment below. I know you will.
Bass, there's no denying, and I don't think any league will ever deny that the godfather of
OG. The classic is it.
Yeah.
Well,
for sure.
the godfather of bass fishing tournaments is Bass.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the godfather.
And I'm not taking a shot at Bass or FLW. I'm just saying.
Neither am I. I'm just saying the evolution is, hey, Bassmasters was the first to ever come out.
No doubt.
Built a generation after generation after generation of, following. And I'm not sure when FLW.
The 80s.
The 80s.
Yeah,
Okay,
Redman when it started. FLW started in 96. Okay. Sermon won the first one. I think it was 96.
Yeah, the FLW tour.
The tour.
They had
Operation Bass.
When we're talking national levels, big giant checks, what were they called back then? I thought it was Redman Trail.
Operation Bass.
Operation Bass. Okay, yeah. So Operation Bass, of course, had plenty of tournaments, up and inspired so many people. The godfather is Bassmasters. FLW's this. Then, as you look at the evolution,
the 90s.
ESPN. Remember, it started on TNT. Right?
TNN
with Bobka.
Oh,
Right.
man.
The juice.
Gosh, it was so awesome.
We all set our VCR tapes and
That's right.
would watch it and record it and rush home from church.
I can hear the music playing right now.
Right. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
got there, and then, of course, me, being a 5-year-old kid, just watching all this. So you got the Godfather. They built our generation. We got excited about fishing. Operation Bass got so many people excited, not on the national level. Then it wasn't until 96 when the professional side of FLW come up. Now, they've had their professional side forever. Then you take them with ESPN, right?
Jerry McInnes, Tommy Sanders.
Which is in every network household that there is. And then, so FLW actually, so now as far as fame and popularity, people would know you, of course, through ESPN than any station, right?
Absolutely.
So then you got 96, in which I think at one time ESPN covered them. We were on ESPN at one time.
FLW? That's what I'm saying. Jerry McKinnon, the first FLW's, ESPN2, like 98, dude, that was when I was in my bass fishing like fandom as I don't know, 98, how old I was. But, dude, I've got all those on tape at the house. Jerry McInnes hanging out of helicopters, covering the Illinois, like Mississippi River out of like the championship. Davey Height won up there, him and Tommy Biffle side by side. No, they changed the game on coverage, which is funny because now that is, that ended up being Bass's production crew. Right. Still, Mike McInnes now runs that killer job doing all the live coverage now. It evolved into that, but that's when FLW went to me like, skirt, and you start seeing the bigger paydays coming. Yeah. You had the team deals, the boat wraps.
Competition is good.
No doubt. No doubt. That's right.
And I'm not saying there's not favoritism for me on, I'm not at any way, shape, or form saying anything negative about any league.
Yeah.
Just like people have said, National Professional Fishing League, there doesn't need. What do you mean? The more leagues we have, the more there's that many people inspired.
That many opportunities for anglers.
It's weird hearing that. We don't need that. Well, then you don't have to participate, Bobby.
That's
what
right.
I mean?
Or watch or
what
whatever.
What are we talking about?
It's so I think it's an awesome thing that when FLW came out on the professional side, it forced them. I think we were paying 200, and when I say we, of course I bleed FLW. I can't even say that no more. Major League Fishing.
Big Five.
The Big Five.
The Big Five.
But you got, at one time we were $250,000 for the championship. In the very early years, they were $40,000.
Yeah.
Still, or $50,000.
That's the classic.
The classic.
Yeah, that's right.
$250. So then I was actually fishing Bassmasters at the time. I said, jump back over to FL. I said, if you're, at the time, if you're only going to pay $50,000 for the classic, they're paying $250 and have all these.
Still the classic. Still the classic.
Hey, the classic, you can't.
You could give somebody $7 some peanut butter crackers and that trophy, and they're still going to go fishing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've got back-to-back classics in '87. I can vouch.
So
never be done again.
Yeah,
never be done again. He's in the zone.
Couldn't care less.
He's in the zone.
The competition's there.
He stepped on your line.
So they started.
Dancing.
Yeah, they started raising the bar, and then I think maybe the industry said when somebody lowered the bar. Okay, we go.
That's what I said. Yeah, when FLW dropped the overall payout in the cup, Bass is like
almost like two competing gas stations, right? They keep lowering the gas prices. They finally realize, hey, they talk. Hey,
why you got to give your guys more if there's nowhere for them to go?
Bad for business on both ends, right?
I mean, that's the thing. And you're talking about competition. When the big split happened in 19, I mean, it made Bass get their crap together. There were reasons those guys wanted to leave, for sure. I mean, several different reasons for a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of
There's a mass exodus for a reason.
For sure. But I think that, there was
So I think there was a lot of stuff that went on behind the scenes that we don't know. The public will never know. Things of that nature. It was complex.
But at the same time, I think the original plan for Bass Pro Tour, if you're a dude that's fished for a living like this guy for 27 years, and you sit in a boardroom like we're in right now, and a guy sits at the other end of it and says, boys, we're headed to the next level, and you're not going to pay entry fees. We're going to what are you going to do? You're going to go back to paying $40,000, or are you going to follow and go on to the next deal? And that's what happened. And then you look around, and all your guys that you fish against, the top level dudes, they all rolled out. What are you going to do? Dude, that's where you're going to go. It's where you end up. And now we see,
any league, it's almost like a marriage. If you think a marriage is peachy, no matter what you see.
On social media.
Right, see the husband and wife smiling like we're such a happy couple. Each league had their, internal battles.
No doubt.
Like every league did. It's not like one league had more marriage problem than this league had their marriage problems. There's marriage problems within every league.
But it's all about how those problems are handled, right?
Right, exactly. And, there was, choice, yeah.
I like when you just set her down. Right there. You landed the plane right there in the Hudson. You hit a goose and landed down. You landed that sucker right there in the middle of the damn Hudson. You floated that sucker in that dirty water. Look at you. Right in that water. I mean, are you sweaty?
No.
You're not sweaty. You are sweaty? Why are you sweaty? You've told so many good stories tonight.
No, I'm sweating because, I
don't feel like you've said anything that's going to get you in trouble. I'm trying not to lead you to the slaughter.
All we are is telling history.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a history. And I do feel like with a guy like you, it's always amazing because I've kept up with this. You've kept up with this. We've been in it. But, dude, and I cover this week in, week out. I'm lucky to get to talk to my friends that are doing it on a level that I've never done it at and still doing it. And I got a little taste when I fished FLW for a few years, but man, dude, you've seen it from, like you're saying, the BP Top 100 days to the classic paying not very much to that ESPN inception of FLW to the Irwin Jacobs coming in and the wrap boats and the team deals. And like you've lived all of that right up to the split where you and I were still fishing FLW when the split happens. You and I had conversations because there was rumors that they were going to buy FLW. We were hearing that. FLW addressed that with us in an angler panel meeting. They're like, look, there are rumors all the time. Other companies try to buy us. Yes, conversations have taken place, but, you know, we can't elaborate more. And that was basically what we got. And we were working hard. Dudley, you were on angler panels. You were talking about with FLW, you bleed FLW. Dude, so many meetings like, hey, this has got to be better. There was always a lot of disgruntled people in FLW. So to say bass or disgruntled people, it's like you said, every tournament. We're two tournaments in the NPFL. There's some of these guys that are probably like, this sucks, that sucks, want to change this. Because as fishermen, I feel like we're never satisfied.
I think we could call anybody out, and I'm not saying organizations, or I'm not, I'm just talking about people in general. If you hear somebody say, man, we just want to get people into fishing, it's such a great
grow the sport.
Grow this, we're going to grow the sport. And then they go, what? There shouldn't be another league. That's,
Exactly.
What?
You know who grew the sport in the last 5 years? Who's grown the sport the most? YouTubers.
Social media.
Period.
Million%.
Period.
Yeah.
Million.
Guggen Squad averaged 1.5 to 2 million subscribers making fishing videos. Everybody said they didn't know how to fish. Okay. There's a bunch of kids buying a bunch of baits. The Ben Millikens of the world.
Oh, yeah, so we hear the Milliken, and we hear Fluke Masters, OG.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nick Smith, Informative Fisherman, OG.
No doubt.
No doubt. It's huge. And there are a lot of guys out there that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers that we aren't aware of.
They don't give a damn about tournaments.
And they are
the people
selling
that
stuff left and right.
And it's not even about that to me as much as the fact that I do feel like we get a little like this, and this is a podcast where I cover tournament fishing, obviously.
It never starts out like that, though. It never starts out like when you're at the 5,000, you're not selling product because nobody's approaching you.
That's right.
When you start making that good content and you start trending, then they start knocking on your door.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get in a situation to where
you got to sell.
You'll see your guys, you'll see your creators when their content used to be true, organic, and pure. And then they get sidetracked because they start getting them knocks on the door for that money. Hey, man, we'll pay you so-and-so if you push this product.
Yeah.
Even though Bobby don't even know what that product is, he can't turn down that money. And then his content changes and all that, and then becomes more of a business, which is nothing's wrong with that. But
let me ask you this, though, because you've had in the social media world, dude, I mean, born and raised in it, basically. The character, Fat Cat Newton. Like when you started doing the funny videos, you had this dream. And I hear you talk about sponsors. You were this cat making these crazy videos, and then all of a sudden, dude, you're the face of Cash and Rods.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, was that strange for you? I guess is my question.
Like, strange right now. This is not who I am. It's so weird. I don't know how much to peel back, but no, I still feel weird. Like people want to associate me or Fat Cat with their company. I'm like, I'm just some guy that makes dumb videos. Like, you want me representing your brand? And I'm so appreciative. It puts me, I never thought I'd be in a situation, bro.
Yeah, man.
I've been a blue collar dude. I've worked all my life, like driving trucks and doing this, and I made a dumb video. I got a GoPro for Christmas or something where I had a GoPro and I made a dumb video because I fished a club, Fredericksburg Fishing Club. Shout out to you boys. I was fishing that and I just made a dumb video. And then when I went to the next tournament, a few of them, they repeated some of the lines I said. I may have said high kick or Bobby, I don't know. And then I made another one. By the third video, I had a company reach out to me. I don't have that many views. And then another company, and shoot, within 3 months, Cashin have reached out to me, and I've been with Cashin for 7-8 years now, and I've had so many different companies.
It's been that long with Cashin, I guess I realized
it's probably 2014. I was probably June of 2014.
No kidding.
I've been with them dudes. Yeah, man, I've been with some other companies that went different ways.
Yeah.
Just be careful, man. I will give this piece of advice. That's just real talk. Be careful who you associate yourself with in this company.
Yeah.
Don't just take anything somebody's willing to give you. Just take your time, man. Find your zone, find your stride, and do your thing. But just don't take something. People are going to want to give you a lot of stuff, and they're going to approach you. Hey, man, I like your content, man. Here, I got a sweatshirt for you. And hey, I got this for you. It's nice, but they're giving it to you for a reason because they want you to wear. I don't know, man. Just be careful, man. Protect yourself, protect your brand. Just the main thing. Be careful who you associate yourself with.
And I think David would say that as a guy.
I've gotten burned. I've gotten burned, man. I've given everything.
One of the greatest things that was ever said to me early on in my.
Was that by me?
What he just said. What he just said.
Oh, yeah. But
he appreciates the advice. He's been selling himself short for years.
That's why I don't associate myself. I'm just kidding.
I got you. So it is. I was just signed with Ranger, so I've been with Ranger for 26 years because I didn't have the boat the first year. 26 years with Ranger, and Sammy Lee, a guy named Sammy Lee, took me out to dinner, and I had 19 years old, just won a tournament, doing well. He looked at me, and I'll never forget this. He said, "Dudley," he said, "this industry is too small." And he says, "Be careful of who you agree with because it's such a small circle. By the time you burn these bridges, you're going to be circling right back and they ain't going to want you." And I went, at 19, I was like, oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Think about how many boat companies, when a guy, I think you lose value with your fans when you, for instance,
Jump around.
for instance, you have a frog. This is the best frog in the world, right? And then the next company gives you $50 more a month. No.
And two more free frogs.
Yeah, this month is. This frog is the best frog. And then the next company comes in and says, "No, this is we'll give you $25 more a month if you come sign." Okay. But you lose. Yeah. I feel like you lose, and then
%.
And used to, you could get away with it.
You lose credibility.
You could get away. Think about this. You could get away with it 10 years ago, but now what do you got to do every time you get a new sponsor and they want them one social media post a month? Well, everybody that follows you sees it. When you just had to stand on stage, people, dude, they probably didn't pay attention. But now I can go look you up. I can go, wait a second. That sucker told me a Zoom trick worm 2 weeks ago was the best thing in the world. Now he's telling me about Bobby's freaking
somebody
garlic worm or whatever.
I'm going to go by what David Dudley says to go by.
No doubt.
So when I go by it and I listen to him, he said it was the best.
As long as it ain't a shaky head.
Been through that. We're not even getting into that. But no, man, what I tell the guys at Cashin when I deal with new guys at Cashin, not that I'm a somebody like that at Cashin, but what I'm getting at is I tell my guys, man, that I associate with, you don't have to say it's the best ride out there. It's just the best ride you've ever used. And this is the best I've ever used. Because when you say it's the best out there, you don't know. You haven't used everything out there, right?
Period on it.
Right.
Goat.
That's right.
Tree, we talked about that earlier.
And to me, it's like you got your proficiency rods. I'm using Abu, you're using Cashin. It's a confidence thing, but more important, like you've got to believe it. And a lot of people just sell out, like you're saying, hey, man, we want you to I'll give you some of these free rods. If you don't believe in what you're using, you're wasting your time, in my opinion. And there's a lot of guys
Let me add something to that real quick, though, to a certain extent. So for the longest time, I didn't need any money from social media. I had a great job. I was doing great alone. Didn't need anything from the Fat Cat world. Was good. Well, I quit my job to do Fat Cat full time, right?
How long ago was that? A year?
Yeah, about a little over a year, right? So it used to be a time I would pick and choose. I just deal with who I want to deal with. But now when you put yourself in a situation where you don't have that cushion, you think differently. You know what I'm saying? Because now this is my livelihood. Now I'm like, well, I wouldn't have done that when I had a full-time job. But now let me think. So things are more tempting now. You still have to be true to yourself and think about how things will be perceived.
But this is how you're making your living, though.
So it's a slippery slope. You just have to be careful how you carry yourself and how you support those brands that you associate yourself with, I guess. No doubt. I feel like I'm getting too serious, but
I think this has been fun.
I'm just speaking from experience with that kind of stuff. If
anybody's still listening at this point, and I feel like they are, viewer duration is important. We went deep.
Yeah, man.
We went deep on photo shoots. We went deep on freaking just entry fees, and
we were
no doubt.
We were all over the place. I don't know if you, Dudley, I mean, you know the song, so apparently you listen to Low Budget Live. This is every episode, okay? But normally it's just me by myself rambling. So I'm grateful to have my brothers in here rambling with me.
Appreciate you having us on.
Rambling with me and about all the craziness that is bass fishing. Of course, we're at the National Professional Fishing League. I feel like I finally got to where I can say that without fumbling over it. It was a long name in the beginning.
Today. I was a little bit. Felt so stupid.
I finally got like I was saying inaugural event down at Eufaula, and I can't believe I never flubbed that too many times. But NPFL here, Texarkana. Of course, this is a podcast for Monday, April 26th. I appreciate these guys coming on. Hopefully, y'all all watched plenty of bass fishing. This is coming to you Monday, like I said. Hopefully, you watched as many minutes of NPFL Live as you could. Get to see us doing our thing, watching our guys out there on the water, killing it. Of course, I don't know who's going to win this tournament right now, Keith Carson. But Keith Carson's got the lead as we record this, but it's going to be a shootout.
Can I get credit for calling him if he does win?
Oh, yeah, you did. Coming out of practice.
His initials are Keith Carson.
His initials. The winner of this event is his initials are Keith Carson. Who's going to win the Elite Series? Have you looked at it today? Because I haven't. It's Friday night. I do no research for this show.
His initials are Brandon Card.
Oh, he's leading it.
Did he smash him today?
Yeah, like 28 pounds today.
His initials are Brandon Card.
Didn't Wiltshire get another 8-pounder today?
Yes, towards the
Walters.
Walters, I'm sorry.
Walters.
My bad. Sorry, Walters. My bad.
Sorry, Patty. Patty Walt.
Don't hit me.
Patty Walt got them short shorts. He'll be at a damn David Dudley photo shoot if he ain't careful.
He ain't had the short shorts.
He's showing that sweet meat off.
A little chilly out there.
Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. You end up on FLW's website. And now that they're competing even more because of BPT, a picture like that goes around, straight up gonna get shared over there on FLW. Like, hey, look at what Patrick Walters is. Everybody's gonna be saying, dude, here's the thing. I mean, if you got it, flaunt it. That's what I say.
Hey, dude, hey.
You said it was summertime, and bring it. Top 10. Brandon Card, Quentin Capo, Patrick Walters slipped to third. You only have 15 pounds today with an 8-pounder. It's a little tougher day. Taku Ito, who is the most fun guy to watch on live fishing maybe ever. Oh, my gosh, dude. Oh, he has he was a rookie last year, killed it. But he made the top 10 down at Sabine.
He's funny.
That dude?
Yeah.
One dock for
yes, that guy. Yes.
38
so
hours,
when he gets so excited. Chad Morgan Taylor, Brandon Cobb, Austin Felix, Brian Snowden, Lee Livesey, Seth Fighter, top 10 after day 2, 43 pounds to make the cut there. I want to see what it took to make the cut.
I know Brandon.
2-day total. That's not right. Yeah, 32 pounds. It only took 16 today to make the cut at Fork. It got tougher there today, too. Yeah. A lot of bedfish. Same as here. A lot of shallow spawn
fish. Let's compare it. It's probably going to take, what's it going to, like, here?
Well, if we had, okay. Hang on. Let me look at that.
Yeah.
So, 49th place at Fork, because everybody's been freaking out, and they do have bigs. It's been fun to watch, I'm sure. 32 pounds, 3 ounces to make 49th place. I'm going to pull up NPFL. It's going to be close.
Oh, bro.
They're going to have us by a little bit. That's 16 today. And I think we dropped today some.
Was some dropped, some picked up?
Yesterday we were 15 pounds and 50th. So we'll be a little lighter. Let's see here. Yeah, 50th place, 29. So the guy's about 3 pounds over.
But
29 pounds in comparison. Exactly.
We're only one.
This is a hidden gem in Texas, dude.
Where are the Wright Patman big bass we heard about?
I don't know. We have not seen a bass.
We've heard of guys losing giants. We had a couple guys catch giants in pre-fishing, which I'm sure they regret, but yeah, we haven't seen anything come across the stage that was over 7.
Have not seen a 7. We had a 6.15 today. Yep. So we almost got there. We haven't seen an 8, haven't seen a 7. I'm talking to a lot of guys that are saying they're losing.
I can see what the 6.15 was caught on, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's caught on a pink trick worm.
Spinning rod.
Dang.
Believe it or not, Double D. Spinning rod.
No,
why are you pointing at me?
I'm lying. It was pink. It was a pink wacky rig Seiko.
I mean, I know a guy that likes to throw pink. I like to throw pink.
Why are you pointing at me with pink?
A bait you told me about in pink got me and my son a check the other day in a local tournament, and he was bragging on David Dudley all day because I told him, I was like, David Dudley told me we got to throw this. And we threw it. We caught a bunch of them, and he was like, Dad, this is awesome. He was
throw a lot of stuff with pink, but what was it?
The thing you showed me you follow, I ain't going to say out loud. I'm going to say it out loud.
Does it rhyme with helicopter lure?
I do have a prototype.
Boomerang.
That is about to come out. The David Dudley prototype wacky worm that I'm building. And I looked at it the other day in the pool, and it's far exceeded my expectations. I didn't even know it would do.
I don't think people.
I want to, dude. I got to ask this because I wanted to ask you because you were plugging your crap on live today.
Was he really?
I swear to God.
Oh my God!
He was like,
"What an opportunist!"
He's like, "NPFL live, yeah." I tell you guys, you know, I can't believe nobody's throwing wacky worms. Let me tell you about this wacky worm I got. Huh? I'm like, dang! Really? He slid it right in there, and hey, listen, I love my brother, so I was like,
Ownership's gonna send you an invoice for that.
Oh, trust me, Brad Fuller was in the room, was listening. That time is not cheap, my friend. I've seen those invoices. So or he'll just won't send you a paycheck. He goes, there you go, Dudley. You got your shameless plug-in. My question, and I'm being serious, because you spent a lot of time in swimming pools. You explained that to Fat Cat about shaky
Jeez, bro. I thought we were going to get in a fist fight.
over shaky head. I'm not arguing with the 4-time AOY about nothing. I've learned that a long time ago. Because me and Dudley have argued, but I'm like, he put me on the spot so many times today on live. He's like, Luke.
Yeah, he was.
Did he really? And dude, I would take the damn bait, and then I look like a goon because I can't catch a bass half as good as this guy, quarter as good as this guy. And he'd be like, do you believe that blade combinations and spinner baits matter? And I'd be like, well, sometimes it's cloudy. I like to throw willow. And then I halfway through talking, I'm like, this son of a bitch. And then he was like, Luke, do you throw dark lures when it's cloudy? And I'm like, he's just setting me up. And then he goes into one of his Dudley. I've been calling him Double D, the instructor. He goes into this professor, Pete Glusick's a professor, but he goes into just breaking it down.
Dr. Dudley over here.
Yeah, I know. I just walked on it, and he was like, can't see us on camera, of course. We're just commentating the live action. He's like, gotcha. Walked into that again. Luke, do you believe that braid is better in bushes? And then I'm like, I like fluorocarbon. Wrong again, stupid. I've got 4 AOIs. That's how it's been for 3 days, dude. 2 days. 5 days now. That was it. Yeah, he really got cranked up today. He's feeling his oats a little bit today. Yeah. But what I'm going to end with this.
What were you trying
I was trying to say. Sorry, I had to say that because you were. Luke, let me ask you, like he cares about my fishing opinion about anything.
Oh, right, yeah.
He fished against me.
We already know
he'd come in and be like, Bubba,
he cares about.
Bubba, did you catch any today? No, and I was like 112th. Right. Like in his AOI year, I had like the worst finishes I've ever had. So anyways, you're welcome. I contributed to your AOI. Didn't get in your way. I'm taking credit. What makes... I'm a wacky worm guy. You and I talked about this, and you've been in my head for a long time because you're confident about everything. But some things I'm like, okay, I know.
The wiggle. I already know where you're going.
I know, but I'm saying for everybody listening at home, a wacky worm is to most people, a wacky worm is a wacky worm is a wacky worm is a wacky worm. You've thrown them in pools. I'm not going to give away the one you throw all the time because I don't want anybody to know because I finally got it out of you after years. He owed me in a bet. Because
I already know.
You know the deal. But here's the thing. That's what it is. It's an action thing to you then. Is it a rate of fall thing? Because rate of fall is huge to me.
Keep going.
Rate of fall.
All of it attributes to the dancing, right? So it's all about the wiggle.
How do you know how it wiggles? How do you know how it falls? What did you do? Are you getting into how he knows and the test he's done?
Yeah, or how, okay.
When you put your snorkel and your mask on.
I know, but you don't have gills. I'm saying, how do you know which wiggle? And I know you see it in the pool, but how do you base, okay, this is the exact wiggle those bass want? And it's the same with crankbait guys and everything else, right? There's certain actions, right? We can all agree.
It's seasonal as well.
What made you go, this is the one? That's what trips me up with bass fishing.
So in fishing, we'll all attribute to this, like cranking, right? Most people throw a crankbait and they're just like, whatever. Yeah. That's what I do.
Steady retreat. Yeah.
Right here. But in the crankbait world, if you get caught up in this rhythm, you're going to suck.
Game over. You're not going to catch. That's right.
You will go.
Eventually.
Catch some. If you throw a wacky worm out there, let it sing, twitch, you will catch some. But it's understanding, like if you watch the cadence of my dance with my rod and what I do, when I let it fall, when I don't let it fall, how quick I'm picking it up between this bush to the next bush and what it's doing, that's a complicated issue. But the number one thing...
And that is what you're not getting, ladies and gentlemen. You skipped right over that. You can buy the David Dudley wacky worm available now at Walmart.
But when you have... To me, the number one thing is the wiggle, and you can dance your wacky worm in so many different ways to make them bite. But when you have a natural wiggle and That's what I want. When I'm not doing
On the fall.
On the fall. When I'm not doing anything. And what I found out, I kind of had an idea, and I started putting some ideas together about 7 or 8 months ago, built some different things, took them to the pool, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The week before I got here, I got some of the prototypes built, and of course I'm jacked up, and I go out there and put them in, and I was like, wow, didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. Like, that's why I'm jacked about it. Yeah, so I didn't see that coming. So, yeah, it went way beyond what I thought would happen. And it'll all show in the video. Like, there ain't no hiding it. I will take what is standard. You'll see it in the pool. And I'll take mine, and I'll show you in the pool. And you just decide. There ain't no trick photography.
So when you're pouring those, you're getting those poured salt-based stuff or no? Or is it just the consistency of the plastic? How are you?
Yeah, it will. There's a certain weight that I want.
Okay.
It ain't no. It is the cocaine gram scale, the marijuana.
Come on.
Scale.
Whoa.
Hey, it's a kid's show. But after we get off the air.
What other people use, I have my gram scale that I got.
Triple beams. Old school, never mind. I'm dating myself.
Anyways,
yeah, it's that.
Fat Cat will be performing.
No, whoa. He's the one talking the crazy stuff. So, real quick, though, I know you're trying to end, but Beans were talking about that. The story you told me about how at one time you didn't name names, but you guys said you had bought a bunch of the different types of those stick baits and actually tested different ones. So you guys got underwater.
It's amazing.
Right. So you tested the rate of fall, the action, things of that nature, correct?
Absolutely. If you think stick baits are all the same, you better wake up and smell the coffee, dude.
Yeah.
You better wake up and smell the coffee. They can tell me what brand they're throwing, and I can tell you right now, I will smoke your hind end.
Let me touch right there. So we were at an event together. I was working a show. We were working a show somewhere. And I'm going to be kind of vague with this because there was a guy there that was working for a certain company, and that certain company had a stick bait. And me being me, we were talking or whatever, and I was like, well, and you had said this earlier that day, and I think I had gotten you to come over to where I was, where he was at, or he was around the corner. And I was like, David Dudley, where'd you say the best place to throw these were? He said, in the trash. But like you said that based on what you like out of a stick bait. Not that they're bad, but they didn't have the action. Well,
Right. They're that bad.
They are trash, he said.
Yeah, a good place to put them in is called a Rubbermaid trash can. You should store those in the Rubbermaid trash can.
But to go back into what you guys rate and how you rate them things falling.
Yeah, it's the fall rate. It's the dance. When it starts to shimmer, if it shimmers. The shimmer is, on stick baits, the shimmer is on the fall. Some of them never move. Never move. Some of them at 8 inches or whatever, at 8 inches you start to see the shimmer, right? Some of them just, and we did it fair. When I test stuff, I'm not what's that word? I'm not propagandaing anything. Even if I don't care. Like just show me the pure facts, and that's what I want to do. So I keep everything. And this summer when I start doing the YouTube underwater studying lures, and we're going to put it on my channel, Studying Lures, it's amazing what you can learn about a lure. Just like I built a bladed bait coming out. It's just come out last month. Same thing with a bladed bait. I built a bladed bait with tree shaker tackle. Is that it's amazing what it does compared to the standard. And I'm not saying that mine is 100% correct, but what it's built to do is phenomenal. Like phenomenal bladed bait. But either way, I do enjoy studying. I want to know pure facts. Just show me the pure facts. Fact, when you throw it in a pool and I swim down, what it do? It did that. Okay. What it do? Okay, it did that. Hey,
maybe he does have gills.
Hey, throw it in the pool.
Dude, I've never been a man ate up with fishing like him.
No, I know.
Throw it
all kinds of fishing too,
bro.
Throw it in a pool. Did it stand up? No. Okay.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Whatever.
Did it?
Million times. We're done. All right, wrap it up because I'm not getting into this. I know what he's talking about. We're not
in
even
the
doing
podcast by saying I watched these two get into one of the greatest arguments ever. We're all feeling it. You follow. Man, love you, bro. We killed it. Yeah. NPFL Live crew for life. And then Fat Cat brought up shaky heads. And I wanted to get in the truck and leave immediately. It was like watching mom and dad fight. Just, guys, stop it. You're bothering me. Because David loves his shaky head. And it's the only one that stands up.
I built a stand-up shaky head. I did. I built a stand-up shaky head that I tested in a pool. I could cast it 1,000.
Olympic-sized pool. Let's get that right.
Yeah,
That was part
pool.
of the argument.
I should have ended
It will
this.
stand up
I'm sorry.
1,000 times in the pool. And I will put it up against any brand shaky head, cast for cast, same line, same whatever you want to say. And I'll show you a video for facts. It don't matter to me.
Where can they?
$1,000 bill down here.
Where can they watch that video? Where can they watch? You got $1,000.
I will lay $1,000.
You got a $1,000 bill?
I know, right? That's
will
cool.
lay $100.
Here we go. He's getting in that zone again.
Backpedal.
All right, guys. We go. That's the
This
wrap.
highway. Ladies and gentlemen, all you bunch of low-lifers out there, I appreciate you each and every week joining me on LBL. I know we're all over the place, but that's what us three do when we get together. And they were like, what are we going to talk about? I was like, turn the camera on and roll, man. I told y'all a couple weeks ago, one of the episodes when I was talking about a big decision to not do LD and the MC anymore, that I wanted to just get back to doing why I started this podcast, which is a lot of fun, conversations with my buddies. Going to start bringing the gear out with me on the road more and more and more. I used to do this in hotel lobbies all the time. We do LBL. And then I got lazy because I like the LBL Bar and Grill now. I ain't going to lie. I like having my stuff out there. I go out there and hit record, back to the family. But when I'm on the road with my buddies, I want to start doing more LBLs like this. So I want to thank the Big Cat
appreciate
and
you.
Double D over here for joining me. Thank each and every one of you for watching every single week. Make sure you hug your mama and your daddy. I'm going to take you out with some Biloxi Blues written by me, sung now by David Dudley.
I don't know if my voice can do it again.
Here it is.
Probably will.
And I'm going to see y'all next week after the Bassmaster Open. Wish me some luck in the comments. I need all of it I can get, even on the home pond. Trust me.
Let me hear you. Let me hear you.
There we go.
North, south, wherever the wind blows, I'm leaving those
burdens at rest, Dudley, because this highway
does not know my
I do.
name, and
I wasn't going to blow the mic out.
Luke, don't care. That's a prop right there. Headed to Bassmasters for a Southern Open, and I'm gonna kick their little.
Because what?
I'm just a white bearded man with going down to Mississippi to kick their.